Someone is studying you right now. They already know what makes you emotional. They know when you'll stay quiet, when you'll forgive too quickly, and when you'll choose comfort over control. The disturbing part isn't that they're doing it. The disturbing part is that you probably haven't noticed. Stop for a second. What if the biggest threat in your life isn't the enemy you can see? What if it's the person who smiles, agrees with you, and quietly learns exactly how to control your decisions? Most people never lose because they're weak. They lose because they keep playing by rules their opponents abandoned long ago. They trust appearances. They reveal too much. They react instead of observing. And by the time they realize they're being manipulated, the game has already been decided. Niccolò Machiavelli understood something that still makes people uncomfortable today. Power doesn't belong to the strongest person in the room. It belongs to the one who understands human nature better than everyone else. Once you see the patterns behind people's behavior, manipulation stops looking like magic. It starts looking predictable. By the end of this video, you'll understand 7 dark psychology lessons that expose how influence really works, why most people unknowingly hand away their power, and how to recognize psychological traps before they close around you. Pay close attention, because the final lesson is the one most people don't discover until they've already paid the price for ignoring it. And once you understand it, you'll never see people the same way again. Rule 1. The smile that hides the knife. Not every enemy announces themselves. Some shake your hand. Some compliment your success. Some laugh at your jokes while quietly waiting for the perfect moment to benefit from your mistakes. The most dangerous people are rarely the loudest. They are the ones who make you feel completely safe before they slowly turn your trust into a weapon against you. That is how psychological manipulation begins. Most people believe betrayal comes with warning signs. They expect arguments, obvious jealousy, or open hostility. Reality is far more deceptive. The person planning to use you understands that comfort lowers your guard. The more secure you feel, the less attention you pay to the small details that reveal someone's true intentions. Machiavelli understood that appearances are often designed, not discovered. A clever strategist never judges people by their words alone. Promises cost nothing. Smiles cost nothing. Loyalty spoken too easily is often worth exactly what it costs nothing. Instead, watch what people consistently do when there is no reward for doing it. Picture a coworker who constantly praises your work, supports every idea, and acts like your biggest ally. Then, an opportunity for promotion appears. Suddenly, private conversations become public. Your mistakes somehow reach the right ears. The person you trusted never attacked directly. They simply waited until your confidence gave them the perfect opening. That is the hidden knife. Hear that again. The greatest deception is making you believe there is no deception at all. Never become paranoid. Become observant. Study patterns instead of personalities. Watch how people behave when they gain power, face pressure, or have something valuable to win. Character always reveals itself during moments of temptation. Anyone can appear loyal, while loyalty costs nothing. The real test begins when honesty demands sacrifice. There is another mistake almost everyone makes. They confuse familiarity with loyalty. Just because someone has been around you for years does not mean they deserve unlimited trust. Time reveals habits, but it does not automatically create integrity. Some people simply become more skilled at hiding their intentions the longer they remain close to you. Protect your trust as carefully as you protect your future. Give respect freely, but give complete confidence slowly. The strongest people are not impossible to deceive because they suspect everyone. They are difficult to deceive because they never confuse charm with character. Remember this lesson, because the next rule explains why revealing too much about yourself quietly hands other people the map they need to control you. Rule 2. Never let them read your next move. Predictable people are the easiest people to control. The moment others know how you'll react, what you'll tolerate, or what you'll do next. They stop respecting your choices and start planning around them. They know exactly which words will calm you, which emotions will distract you, and which weaknesses will keep you trapped. Before you realize it, you're no longer making decisions. You're following a script someone else has already memorized. That is why unpredictability creates power. Niccolò Machiavelli believed that certainty gives your opponent confidence. When people think they have completely figured you out, they stop being cautious. They become comfortable. Comfort creates carelessness, and careless people reveal far more than they intend. A strategist never offers that advantage for free. The less people know about your intentions, the harder it becomes for them to manipulate your direction or interfere with your progress. Think about someone who always answers messages instantly, forgives every betrayal, and reacts emotionally whenever they feel disrespected. Over time, everyone around them learns exactly how to influence their behavior. Now picture someone who remains calm, changes their approach when necessary, and refuses to reveal every thought the moment it enters their mind. Suddenly, people hesitate. They cannot predict the response, so they become far more careful with every move they make. That hesitation is influence, not confusion. Control. A businessman negotiating an important deal never reveals his lowest price during the first conversation. A military commander never exposes the entire battle plan before the fight begins. A skilled poker player never celebrates before the final card is revealed. Every serious strategist understands the same truth. Information is leverage, and leverage disappears the moment you give it away too early. Apply that lesson to your own life. Keep your long-term goals private until they are strong enough to survive attention. Stop announcing every plan before taking the first step. Success grows faster when it develops away from unnecessary opinions. Silence protects opportunities that excitement often destroys. Let your actions surprise people. Let your progress answer questions. Let your victories speak before your mouth does. People cannot sabotage a future they cannot clearly predict. They cannot prepare against a move they never expected. That uncertainty becomes your greatest advantage because it forces everyone else to react while you continue moving forward. If you're still watching, like this video and comment "I see it" if you're starting to recognize the patterns hiding in plain sight. Rule 3. The fastest way to lose respect. Respect rarely disappears overnight. It fades one small compromise at a time. Every time you tolerate behavior you know is wrong, laugh off an insult that bothered you, or abandon your own standards just to keep someone comfortable, you quietly teach people how little your boundaries actually matter. They don't lose respect because they suddenly dislike you. They lose respect because your actions tell them you no longer respect yourself. That is where the decline begins. Most people think respect comes from being liked. They become agreeable, constantly available, and afraid to disappoint anyone. They mistake approval for influence. But the harder they work to avoid conflict, the easier they become to ignore. People naturally value those who value themselves first. Machiavelli recognized that authority is never granted to someone who constantly seeks permission. The individual who fears losing acceptance eventually sacrifices honesty, confidence, and conviction just to preserve temporary peace. Ironically, the more they try to please everyone, the less seriously anyone takes them. Respect follows strength, not desperation. Imagine a manager who never says no. Every request receives the same answer: extra work, unpaid overtime, constant favors. At first, everyone praises their generosity. A few months later, appreciation disappears. The workload grows. The demands increase. Complaints replace gratitude because people quickly adapt to whatever you repeatedly allow. Hear that again. What begins as kindness often becomes expectation. The strongest people understand that boundaries are not walls built to keep others out. They are standards that protect what matters most. Saying no to disrespect does not make you arrogant. Walking away from manipulation does not make you selfish. Refusing to betray your principles does not make you difficult. It makes your character predictable in the best possible way. Stop negotiating your self-worth every time someone disapproves. Protect your standards even when it feels uncomfortable. The people who genuinely respect you will adjust. The people who only benefited from your weakness will disappear. That is not a loss. It is proof that your value was never meant to be measured by how much of yourself you were willing to sacrifice. Rule 4. Win the mind before the battle begins. Most battles are already over before the first word is spoken. People think influence begins during the conversation. It doesn't. By the time an argument starts, opinions have already formed, emotions have already taken control, and invisible assumptions are already shaping every decision. If you wait until the conflict begins to gain control, you are already playing from behind. That is the mistake almost everyone makes. They focus on winning the debate instead of winning the perception. They collect better arguments, louder opinions, and sharper comebacks, believing logic alone changes minds. But human nature rarely works that way. People defend what feels right long before they examine what is actually true. Machiavelli understood that perception is the battlefield beneath every battlefield. Before people decide whether to trust you, follow you, or oppose you, they first decide who they believe you are. Once that image settles in their mind, every future action is filtered through it. A strong reputation makes small mistakes look insignificant. A weak reputation makes even your best decisions appear suspicious. Picture two entrepreneurs presenting the exact same business idea. One enters the room prepared, composed, and completely certain of the value they bring. The other constantly apologizes, over-explains every point, and seeks approval after every sentence. Their presentation contains the same information, yet the outcome is completely different. People buy confidence before they buy ideas. That is psychological positioning. Hear that again. People respond to certainty long before they respond to evidence. This does not mean pretending to be someone you are not. False confidence eventually collapses. Real authority comes from preparation. The more disciplined your habits become, the less you need to convince anyone of your capability. Quiet competence creates an impression that words can never manufacture. Walk into every important situation with clarity instead of desperation. Control your emotions before trying to influence someone else's. Speak with purpose instead of rushing to fill silence. Let patience become part of your presence. The person who appears comfortable under pressure immediately changes the emotional balance of the room. Never enter a battle hoping to change every mind. Enter it having already mastered your own. Because the strongest position is not forcing people to believe you. It is becoming the kind of person they instinctively believe before you even begin speaking. Remember that, because the next lesson reveals how the most skilled manipulators make people question their own judgment without ever raising their voice. Rule 5. Make them doubt their own decisions. The easiest person to influence is not the weakest. It is the one who no longer trusts their own judgment. The moment someone begins questioning every decision they make, they start searching for certainty somewhere else. That is exactly where manipulators step in. They don't force obedience. They quietly replace confidence with confusion until you begin asking them what you should think, what you should feel, and what you should do next. That is psychological dependence. Most people believe manipulation looks aggressive. They imagine shouting, threats, or obvious control. The truth is far more subtle. The most dangerous manipulator rarely tells you that you're wrong. They simply ask enough carefully chosen questions to make you doubt what you already know. Once uncertainty grows, your resistance begins shrinking on its own. Niccolò Machiavelli understood that the strongest influence is rarely direct. A skilled strategist never wastes energy fighting confidence. Instead, they patiently weaken certainty until people abandon their own position voluntarily. A confused mind becomes easier to guide than a confident one, because uncertainty naturally searches for leadership. Imagine a woman who catches her partner lying. The evidence is clear. The facts are undeniable. Instead of admitting the truth, he calmly responds, "Are you sure that's what happened? Maybe you're overthinking it. You've misunderstood situations before." Day after day, the conversation shifts away from his actions and toward her memory. Eventually, she stops trusting her own instincts and begins depending on his version of reality instead. That is how control quietly grows. Not through force, through doubt. Never surrender your judgment just because someone speaks with confidence. Confidence is not proof. Calmness is not honesty. The loudest voice in the room is often protecting the weakest argument. Learn to separate facts from persuasion. When something feels wrong, examine the evidence instead of immediately abandoning your instincts because another person sounds convincing. Write important events down. Observe actions instead of explanations. Compare patterns instead of promises. The more clearly you document reality, the harder it becomes for anyone to rewrite it. Manipulation survives inside confusion. Clarity destroys it. Remember this: your greatest defense is not having all the answers. It is refusing to let someone else convince you to distrust your own mind. Because once you lose confidence in your own judgment, someone else will always be waiting to replace it with theirs. If you haven't subscribed yet, do it now and comment untouchable if you're done thinking like everyone else. And the next lesson reveals the one psychological weapon that makes even intelligent people impossible to predict. Rule 6. The power of becoming unpredictable. Nothing makes manipulators more uncomfortable than a person they cannot calculate. The moment someone believes they know exactly how you'll react, they stop respecting your choices and begin designing strategies around them. They know when you'll forgive, when you'll stay silent, and when you'll give in. Without realizing it, you've handed them the blueprint to your behavior. That blueprint becomes your prison. Most people live inside routines they never question. They answer every message immediately. They explain every decision. They reveal every plan before taking the first step. They become so predictable that others stop adapting to them and start exploiting them instead. Predictability feels safe, but in psychological warfare, it is often a hidden liability. Machiavelli understood that uncertainty shifts the balance of power. The person who remains difficult to read forces everyone else to think more carefully. They hesitate before making assumptions. They second-guess their strategy. They waste energy preparing for possibilities instead of acting with confidence. That hesitation creates leverage long before a confrontation ever begins. Picture two competitors fighting for the same promotion. One openly announces every move, every ambition, and every future plan. Office gossip spreads the information before the week is over. The second competitor says very little. They continue improving their skills quietly, build relationships without drawing attention, and reveal their progress only when the opportunity arrives. While everyone was busy reacting to the first person, the second quietly changed the entire game. That is strategic unpredictability. The unexpected move is often the strongest one. This does not mean becoming inconsistent or playing childish mind games. It means refusing to make yourself emotionally predictable. Don't let people know exactly what angers you, what flatters you, or what guarantees your attention. The less they understand your emotional triggers, the fewer tools they have to influence your decisions. Learn to pause before reacting. Keep your biggest goals private. Change your approach when circumstances change. Let your results surprise people instead of your promises. The strongest strategist is never the loudest person in the room. They are the one nobody can confidently predict. That uncertainty quietly protects opportunities, weakens manipulation, and forces other people to respect your next move because they never know what it will be. Remember this: the more predictable your behavior becomes, the easier your future becomes to control. The more disciplined your unpredictability becomes, the harder you are to manipulate. And the final lesson reveals the one truth about human nature: that separates ordinary thinkers from those who quietly shape the world around them. Rule 7. The one lesson most people learn too late. By the time most people understand this lesson, the damage has already been done. The wrong friends have stolen years of their lives. The wrong relationship has drained their confidence. The wrong opportunities have quietly disappeared because fear convinced them to wait one more day. They keep looking back, wondering where everything went wrong, never realizing the answer was hidden in a single decision they repeated for years. They waited instead of acting. They hoped instead of observing. They trusted words instead of patterns. That is how power slips away. Machiavelli understood a truth that history keeps proving again and again. Life rarely rewards the person with the best intentions. It rewards the person who understands reality before everyone else does. Human nature does not suddenly become fair because you are honest. It does not become generous because you are kind. The world responds to awareness, preparation, and decisive action far more often than wishful thinking. Imagine two people receiving the same warning about a failing business partnership. One ignores the signs because they believe loyalty will solve everything. The other studies the situation carefully, notices the repeated betrayals, and quietly leaves before everything collapses. Months later, one is trying to rebuild from disaster, while the other is already creating something better. The difference was not intelligence, it was timing. The people who move first rarely carry the heaviest regret. The greatest mistake is believing you always have more time to protect your peace, more time to build discipline, more time to walk away from people who repeatedly disrespect you. Every delay strengthens the habits that are already holding you back. Start making decisions based on reality instead of comfort. Judge character through consistency instead of promises. Protect your future before you defend your past. Most people spend their lives reacting to consequences that could have been avoided. Strategic people recognize patterns early and act before the cost becomes unbearable. That is the lesson almost everyone learns too late. Do not wait until betrayal teaches you who to trust. Do not wait until failure teaches you the value of discipline. Do not wait until regret becomes your greatest teacher, because the strongest advantage you will ever possess is seeing the truth while everyone else is still arguing with it. And once you learn to see it, you will never look at people or yourself the same way again. If there's one lesson you should remember from this video, it's this: power is rarely taken in a single moment. It is surrendered little by little. Every time you ignore your instincts, reveal your plans too early, tolerate disrespect, or let someone else control your emotions, you hand away another piece of your freedom. But the moment you begin seeing the patterns behind human behavior, everything changes. You stop reacting, you start anticipating, and that is where real power begins. Now I want to ask you something. Which of these 7 lessons changed the way you see people the most? Comment the number below and tell me why. And if you're serious about understanding psychology, mastering strategy, and learning the timeless lessons Machiavelli left behind, subscribe now. This channel isn't for people who want comforting lies. It's for those determined to see the world as it truly is. Remember this: the most dangerous person in any room is never the loudest. It's the one who understands the game while everyone else still believes there isn't one. I'll see you in the next video.